Hold up, hold up. If you thought the love and hip-hop drama had finally cooled off, think again. Because tonight, everything you believed about one of the franchise's most iconic power couples just got blown to pieces. For over a decade, we watched Yandy Smith Harris and Mendeecees Harris sell us the ultimate fairy tale, from prison visits and tearful proposals, to matching designer outfits at red carpets, lavish vow renewals, blended family vacations in Dubai, and those picture-perfect Instagram posts captioned "Forever starts with us." Millions called them #relationship goals. We rooted for them. We cried with them. We quoted Yandy's famous line, "I chose him, flaws and all." But what if? None of it was ever real. In an exclusive bombshell interview that has the entire love and hip-hop fandom spiraling, Tasha K, yes, that Tasha K just dropped a nuke on the internet, sitting across from her, eyes blazing, voice shaking with what she calls years of suppressed truth. Tasha didn't just spill tea. She poured the whole damn kettle. "I'm done protecting their lie," Tasha declared, leaning forward so close the camera caught the fire in her pupils. "Yandy and Mendeecees. That marriage certificate you all drool over. That ring you screenshot and save. Baby, that was never legal. Never filed, never recognized. What you've been worshipping for years was just an alleged relationship dressed up in designer labels and produced. The internet is on fire. Old clips are being dissected, frame by frame. Receipts are flying. And somewhere in Atlanta, one very powerful couple is allegedly scrambling to control the narrative before it destroys everything they've built. Tonight, we're going minute by minute through Tasha's jaw-dropping accusations, the secret meetings, the alleged payoffs, the family members who allegedly knew the truth all along, and the one piece of evidence that could end Yandy and Mendeecees' empire for good. Buckle up, because this isn't just drama. This is detonation. Welcome to the episode everyone said would never happen. Tasha exposes Yandy and Mendeecees' marriage was never real. Let's get into it. So right as Tasha drops that teaser about somebody else who's about to speak up, the screen cuts to a quick montage of old photos. Grainy paparazzi shots from years back showing Yandy and Mendeecees at family cookouts, at award shows, at court dates, during his legal battles. And then bam, we flash to present day, a shadowy figure sitting in what looks like a home office, face partially blurred out, but the voice unmistakable. It's Rashida Frost, one of the OG Love and Hip Hop Atlanta cast members who's always kept it classy, but clearly not tonight. Rashida's voice comes through calm at first, but building. "I stayed out of this for years because I thought it would blow over. I thought maybe they'd fix it quietly, make it real, but after hearing Tasha lay it all out, I can't sit here and act like I didn't know things weren't adding up." Back when we filmed season 6, Mendeecees was still locked up and Yandy was running around talking about being Mrs. Harris, but every time somebody asked for proof, like "show us the license," she'd laugh it off, change the subject, or pull out that big ring, like jewelry equals marriage. Newsflash, it don't. She pauses, lets out a small sigh. "I was in the makeup trailer one day with Yandy and she was on the phone arguing with somebody I assume was Mendeecees' mama Judy, because she kept saying, 'Mama, I told you we handling it, we don't need to rush the paperwork. It's just for the show right now.' When she hung up, she looked at me, caught me listening, and said, 'Rashida, don't worry about it, it's family business.' I smiled, nodded, but inside I was like, girl, if it's just for the show, why y'all selling it like it's forever?" Rashida keeps going, and that's not even the wildest part. There was this one producer meeting we all had before the vow renewal shoot in the Bahamas. The network execs were in the room, and they straight up said, "We need this to feel authentic, but we don't need it to be legal, because legal means liability. Legal means more money in taxes. Legal means complications. So keep it symbolic, keep it emotional, keep it viral." Everybody nodded, including Yandy. She didn't fight it, didn't push back, just smiled, that same smile she uses when she's winning. Cut back to Tasha, who's nodding along like, "Yes, tell them everything because the fans need to see how deep this went." Tasha jumps in, "See, Rashida, confirming what I already knew. They planned it, they discussed it, they chose the illusion over the truth." And every time a fan asked, "Why no public marriage certificate? Why no joint tax filings? Why no real legal benefits?" Yandy would hit them with spirituality. "We married in God's eyes, or we don't need a piece of paper to prove our love, baby." That's cute until you realize the piece of paper was the foundation of an entire multi-million-dollar brand. Now let's talk money, because this ain't just about feelings. This is about finances. Yandy built her whole management company off the back of being the ultimate wife, mom, boss, the inspirational speaker who overcame the odds with her man by her side. But if that marriage ain't real, then a lot of those Motivational quotes. Start looking real suspect. Was she really Mrs. Harris when she was signing those brand deals? Was she really Mrs. Harris when she was pitching herself as a family expert on panels? Was the Harris myth legacy even a thing legally speaking? Tasha pulls up another screenshot, this one showing an old Instagram post from Yandy captioned officially off the market, Mrs. Harris forever, with the ring emoji and the courthouse emoji. Fans went crazy. Hearts fire emojis proposals in the comments, but Tasha zooms in on the date, 2015 post-ceremony, yet no record exists anywhere. She says, look at this. They even used the word officially, knowing good and damn well it wasn't official. They played in our faces and laughed all the way to the bank. Emotions are running high now across social media. Twitter, formerly known as X, is trending with Yandy exposed, Mendeecees fraud, fake marriage, and fans are split, some defending to the death, saying, who cares if it's not on paper, love is love. Others are furious, feeling duped, like they invested years rooting for a lie. One viral tweet reads, I bought their couples therapy merch. I cried during their reunion specials. I defended Yandy against every single hate comment, and this is what I get: emotional damage. Back in the interview, Tasha addresses the defenders directly. Y'all can keep saying it don't matter if they love each other, but it matters when they monetized the lie. It matters when they used fake forever to sell us dreams while keeping their real assets separate. It matters when the kids are being raised under a last name that's tied to a union that never legally happened. What happens if something goes wrong? God forbid. Custody battles, inheritance, taxes, all of that gets messy when there's no legal tie. She shifts gears again, and now we get into the family side. Mama Judy's reaction, because word is, when this first started leaking, Judy went live on Instagram for like 30 seconds crying, saying my son deserves better than this circus. Then the live cut off suspiciously fast. Sources close to the family say Judy's been begging Mendeecees to come clean for years, but he's loyal to Yandy, ride or die, even when the ride is built on quicksand. And speaking of loyalty, let's talk about Mendeecees himself. He's been radio silent since Tasha dropped the bomb. No statement, no IG story, no nothing, but insiders say he's pissed, not at Tasha, but at Yandy for letting it get this far. Apparently there were conversations where he pushed to make it legal back in 2019. After his legal troubles cleared up, he wanted the protection, the real commitment, but Yandy allegedly said no because making it legal would mess with her brand narrative. The independent boss who chose love over convention. Tasha laughs bitterly at that. Independent my behind. She's been leaning on the Mrs. title for clout for years now. The mask is slipping and the fans are seeing the real picture. One fan comment reads, if it was never real, why drag us through all those prison proposal scenes? Why make us cry for nothing? Tasha nods like she hears that pain. I cried too. Y'all, I believed it at first, but when you see behind the curtain, when you hear the conversations, when you see the paperwork, that doesn't exist. The tears dry up real quick and get replaced with straight anger. The drama escalates when old cast members start chiming in on their stories. Kimbella posts a cryptic quote about fake love and real checks. Erica Mena goes live, saying I always knew something was off, but I minded my business now. I wish I hadn't. Even the newer girls, like Spice and Blue, are reacting. Spice tweets lol, Atlanta fake from Jump, and attaches an old clip of Yandy's wedding. The comments explode with laughing emojis, shocked faces, popcorn gifs. The whole internet is a circus right now. Tasha wraps this section by teasing even more. I told y'all, somebody else is coming forward, and they got video proof, not just words, actual footage from a private event where Yandy herself admits on camera that the marriage was for the show. Stay locked in, because when that drops, it's game over for the Harris-Smith empire as we know it. The screen fades slightly as Tasha looks dead into the lens and says part 2 of this mess is just heating up, because the betrayals, the cover-ups, the side deals, they run deeper than anybody imagined. And trust me, when the next person talks, it flickers back to Tasha's face, but now there's this electric energy, like the interview is hitting its stride. She adjusts her mic, leans in closer, and says, all right y'all, we just heard Rashida confirmed the producer meetings. The makeup trailer whispers the network's own words about keeping it symbolic, not legal, but that was child's play compared to what's coming next, because the person I teased earlier, the one with actual video proof, just sent me the file, and baby, it's explosive. Cut to grainy cell phone footage. Timestamped 2017. Looks like a private afterparty in Atlanta. Maybe one of those Castanelli events. Low lighting, red Solo cups. Laughter in the background, but then the camera pans, and there's Young sitting on a couch. Mendeecees right beside her, arm around her shoulders. They're both tipsy, laughing at something off camera. Then somebody off screen yells, yo Yandy, when y'all making it official for real? And Yandy throws her head back, laughing. Hard before she says, "Girl, please, we already did the official part for the cameras, that's all we needed, the paperwork." The real one, nah, that's for suckers who don't know how to play the game. The room and the footage erupts in ohs and laughter. Mendeecees just smirks, shakes his head like, "Yeah, that's my girl," and pulls her closer. Yandy keeps going, "We got the ring. We got the kids, we got the brand, why complicate it with taxes and lawyers, when we can just live our truth, our way?" The camera shakes like the person recording is shocked but keeps rolling. Then Yandy looks right at the lens for a split second, winks and says she don't tell the fans they love the fantasy. Tasha freezes the frame right on that wink. Her voice comes back over the clip. "Y'all see that that's not a drunk slip-up, that's confidence, that's somebody who thought the truth would never see daylight, because who would believe it? Who would risk their spot in the circle to expose it? But here we are." And that video just surfaced in my DMs from somebody who was tired of carrying the guilt. Social media is imploding again. Clips of that footage are being stitched, reposted, slowed down, analyzed, every frame dissected. Fans are screaming betrayal. In the comments, one viral thread starts with, "Receipts don't lie, receipts don't wink, receipts don't wink, receipts don't play in our faces like that." Another fan posts, "I'm done, I unfollowed, I blocked, I can't support people who laugh at our emotions while cashing our views." But the twists keep coming, because not even 20 minutes after that clip drops, Yandy goes live on Instagram. First time since the story broke, she's in full glam hair, laid makeup, flawless, sitting in what looks like her home office. She starts calm, collected. "Y'all know I don't usually address rumors, but this one is getting out of hand. Tasha, and whoever else is pushing this narrative, they're hurting real people, my children, my family, my peace. So let me be clear. Mendeecees and I are married, we said our vows in front of God, our loved ones, and that's all that matters to us." The paperwork haters love to talk about paperwork like it defines love. It doesn't. She holds up her hand, shows the ring. "We've been through hell and back, prison, court battles, miscarriages, business ups and downs, and we came out stronger every single time. So if somebody wants to question our union, go ahead, but don't question our love, don't question our commitment, and don't come for my babies, because that's where I draw the line." The live chat is chaos. Some typing, "We love you, Yandy." Others spamming receipts where receipts it show the license, show something real. Yandy reads a few comments, smiles, that same signature smile, then says, "I don't owe anybody my marriage certificate. I don't have to prove my life to the internet. Y'all weren't in the room when we said I do. Why? All weren't there for the private moments, so stop acting like you know my story better than I do." She ends the live with a kiss to the camera. "Love y'all, mean it, stay blessed." But as soon as it ends, the blogs pounce. They point out she never denied the lack of paperwork, never said we filed it, never addressed the video where she literally called the real paperwork for suckers. Instead, she pivoted to emotions, to God, to family. Classic deflection, and fans are not buying it this time. Back in Tasha's interview, she's watching the live replay on split screen, shaking her head. "See that right there? That's damage control 101. Don't deny, don't confirm, just spiritualize it. Make the fans feel bad for asking questions, guilt them into silence." But the genie is out the bottle, and more people are talking. Now enter Mama Judy, for real this time, not whispers, not rumors, actual audio that leaked from a phone call between Judy and a close family friend. Judy's voice is thick with tears and frustration. "I told that boy years ago, fix this mess, make it right for them kids, but he listened to Yandy too much. She got him wrapped, she got everybody wrapped. Talking about God's eyes and love conquering all. But what about the law? What about when something happens and there's no protection, no rights? No, nothing. I'm tired of watching my grandbabies live a lie." The friend tries to calm her, but Judy keeps going. "And that vow renewal in the Bahamas, Chile, that was the biggest joke I ever seen. Private jet for what? Fake ceremony for what? When my son could have just gone downtown with her and did it right. But no, she wanted the pictures, the views, the sponsorships. I love Yandy like a daughter, but this ain't right, this ain't family." That audio spreads like wildfire. Family divided, fans picking sides, some saying Mama Judy spilling tea because she's hurt, others saying she's being messy for attention. But either way, the cracks in the perfect image are turning into canyons. Tasha jumps back in, and now she's connecting more dots. Remember when Yandy launched that children's clothing line called Carter's Kids, and she kept pushing the narrative of building generational wealth for her blended family? But if there's no legal marriage, then what happens to inheritance? What happens to custody rights if God forbid they split? What happens to the brand that's built on Harris Smith? When Smith and Harris never legally merged, she pulls up another document, this one an alleged email chain from 2016 between Yandy's lawyer and a business manager discussing asset protection strategies. The lawyer writes in plain text, since there is no marital property agreement in place. Due to no legal marriage, we should consider a cohabitation agreement, or trust structures to safeguard the children's interests. Yandy's reply comes quick, let's table that for now, focus on the brand launch first. Tasha holds the screenshot up. That's not love, that's calculation, that's protecting her bag, while pretending it's all shared. That's why the truth hurts so bad, because it wasn't just a personal choice, it was a business choice, and we the fans were the consumers buying into the product. The interview is reaching fever pitch now, Tasha says, but wait, there's one more layer. The money trail, because love and hip-hop paid for those weddings, those vow renewals, those romantic montages. Production covered flights, hotels, stylists, everything. So if it was never real, was the network in on it? Did they know? Were they complicit in selling a fake marriage to millions for ratings? Rashida comes back in a quick voice note she sent earlier. I can't speak for the network, but I know execs laughed about it in meetings, called it the greatest storyline since Scrappy and Bambi. They never pushed for real paperwork because real paperwork means real complications, and they wanted drama, not documents. Tasha nods slowly. So there it is, the perfect stormcast, producers, network, fans, all feeding into the same illusion, until one person decided enough was enough, and now the fallout is here. Yandy, Mendeecees, your move, because the next 24 hours gonna determine if this empire survives or crumbles, and trust when more comes out tomorrow, it's only gonna get messier. She looks dead at the camera. Part 3 is loading up because the betrayals ain't done, the receipts keep dropping, and somebody very close to the couple is about to flip the whole script upside down. Stay with me, y'all, this ride just getting bumpier, so the tension is thick now. Tasha's eyes are gleaming like she's been waiting for this exact moment her whole career. She takes a slow sip of water, sets the glass down with a deliberate clink, and says, okay y'all, we've seen the video, we've heard Mama Judy's tears, we've watched Yandy's live deflection, but the real earthquake, the one that's gonna crack the foundation wide open, is coming from inside the house, literally, because the next voice you're about to hear belongs to somebody who shared a roof with them, somebody who watched the lie being built brick by brick day after day, and finally said, I can't do this anymore. Cut to a new clip, this one professionally shot. Looks like a sit-down interview in a neutral living room, soft lighting, neutral background. The face comes into focus, it's Infinity G Herbo's baby mama and former Love and Hip Hop guest who's been low-key connected to the Harris circle through friendships and events, but mostly through her own messy history with the show. Her name is Erica, but everybody knows her as the one who dated Mendeecees way back before Yandy locked him down. She's sitting straight-backed, no makeup, no filters, just raw emotion. Erica starts, voice steady but laced with years of resentment. I stayed quiet for a long time because I didn't want to be labeled the bitter ex, but after seeing that footage of Yandy winking at the camera, calling the real marriage for suckers, I had to speak up because I was there when they first started scripting this whole thing. Mendeecees and I were still talking on and off when he got with Yandy, and I remember him telling me straight up she wants to do the prison proposal for the show. It's gonna be big, it's gonna be big, it's gonna shake the whole foundation even harder, so the screen ratings, she said, we don't even need to make it real, just make it look real. And I laughed, thinking she was joking, but she wasn't. She leans forward, hands clasped tight. He came home, and the first thing Yandy did was move him into her place brand. It is our home, our family, but behind closed doors they argued about the paperwork constantly. Mendeecees would say, baby, let's just go file it, make it official so we protect it if anything happens, and Yandy would shut it down every time, saying, no, it changes everything, the brand, the independence, the story we're selling. If we make it legal, people will stop seeing me as the boss who chose love, they'll see me as just another wife, and I worked too hard for that. Erica pauses, lets that sink in, then drops the hammer, and here's the part that hurts the most. The kids. Omer was little when all this started. He'd ask Mendeecees, why don't you and mommy have the same last name like other parents? And Mendeecees would look at Yandy for help, and she'd swoop in with, we're married in our hearts, baby, that's what matters. But kids feel things. They know when something's off, and I watched Omer grow up confused about his own family structure because the adults around him chose cloud over clarity. Tasha interjects from her split screen, yes, girl, preach, because that's the real crime here. Not just lying to fans, but lying to children who trusted the picture they were painted. Erica nods, wipes at her eye, continues, I was around for the vow renewal planning too. They rented that whole Bahamas villa, had stylists flown in, but the night before the shoot, Mendeecees pulled me aside at a cast dinner, said, Erica, I'm thinking about backing out. This feels Wrong, she's making me look like a fool on TV again, pretending it's real when we both know it ain't. I told him then do something, speak up, but he didn't. He went through with it because going against Yandy means losing access to the kids, losing the platform, losing everything he rebuilt after prison. The betrayal cuts deeper when Erica reveals something nobody saw coming. There was a moment in 2020 when Mendeecees almost left. He packed a bag, told Yandy, "I'm done with the games. Either we make this real or I'm out for good." Yandy cried, begged, said, "Think about the brand, think about the kids, think about what the fans will say if we break up now." He stayed, but only after she promised they'd file the papers quietly, no cameras, no big announcement, just do it. He believed her, but months passed, nothing happened. When he asked again, she said, "I changed my mind, it's better this way." The mystery keeps the fans hooked. Social media is a war zone now. Hashtags like protect the justice for mere free Mendeecees from the lie are climbing charts. Old fans are turning, posting montages of Yandy's boss babe speeches next to clips of her dodging paperwork questions. One viral edit has her saying, "I don't need a man to validate me," juxtaposed with her captioning every post, "Mrs. Harris." The irony is burning people up. Tasha brings it home, but wait, there's receipts from that almost breakup era. She pulls up text messages allegedly between Mendeecees and a mutual friend dated 2021. Mendeecees texts, "I'm tired, bro. She keeps stalling on the license, said it's for the image, but I'm starting to think it's for control." Friend replies, "You know she got everything tied up in her name, the businesses, the houses, even some of your music royalties funneled through her LLC. Mendeecees replies, "Yeah, I know, that's why I need the paper so bad. If something happens to me, the kids get nothing legal." Those texts leak simultaneously with Erica's interview, and the internet loses its mind. Blogs are headlining Mendeecees trapped in fake marriage, Yandy controls. The bag fans are divided again, some saying he's a grown man, he could have left, others saying he was vulnerable, fresh out of prison, manipulated by a smarter businesswoman. Tasha addresses that head-on. Let's not victim blame Mendeecees. He made choices too, but Yandy positioned herself as the savior, the ride or die, when really she was the architect of the cage. Now the family ripple effects are hitting hard. Mama Judy posts a rare Facebook message, no live this time, just words, "My heart is heavy for my son and my grandbabies. I raised him to do right by his family, and I pray he finds the strength to do that now. No more games, no more pretending love y'all, but truth hurts more than lies." Comfort cast reactions keep pouring in. Kimbella stories. A black screen with white text, "Sometimes the truth don't need a filter, it just needs to be said." Erica Mena tweets, "If I spoke on everything I knew about fake love in this industry, y'all wouldn't sleep tonight, but some secrets protect more than they hurt." For now, Tasha ties it together, so we've got video proof, audio leaks, text messages, insider testimony from people who lived it, and still the couple's camp is silent. No lawyer letter, no joint statement. Just Yandy's one live and Mendeecees ghosting harder than ever. But silence ain't innocence, silence is strategy, and right now their strategy is crumbling. She leans in closer, voice dropping to that conspiratorial whisper, "But here's the final twist before we head into the last stretch word. Just hit my line that a lawyer close to the situation is preparing to drop something official, not a denial but a clarification, that could either save them or bury them deeper, because apparently there is paperwork. Just not the kind anybody expected, and when that lands tomorrow morning, everything we thought we knew flips again." The screen starts to fade. Tasha's last words echo, "Stay locked, because part 4 is where the empire either fights back or falls apart, and trust me, the next revelation is the one they never wanted out. Stay with me, this finale is gonna be legendary." So the screen snaps back to Tasha, and she's practically vibrating with energy now, her hands gesturing wildly like she can't contain what's about to spill next. "Okay y'all, we've hit every layer so far. The video confession, the almost breakup texts, Mama Judy's heartbreak, Eric, insider pain, but this final stretch, this is where the empire either pulls off the greatest comeback in reality TV history or crashes and burns in spectacular fashion, because the lawyer clarification I teased, it's here, and it's worse than anybody predicted." Cut to a leaked document that surfaced overnight. Looks official, heavy letterhead from a mid-tier Atlanta law firm dated just 2 days ago. Addressed to Yandy Smith Harris and Mendeecees Harris, re-status of marital union and asset division considerations. The first line hits like a brick. No legally recognized marriage exists between the parties, as no certificate of marriage was ever issued by any authorized jurisdiction, therefore no marital property rights, no spousal privileges, and no automatic inheritance provisions apply under New York or Georgia law. Tasha reads It a loud voice, rising with every word, then slams her hand on the table. That's not a denial, that's a confirmation. They're admitting it right therein. Black and white, no marriage certificate, no legal union, just two people who played house for the cameras for over a decade. The lawyer goes on to recommend immediate execution of cohabitation agreements, post-nuptial-style trusts for the children, and separate wills to avoid future probate nightmares. Basically, they're scrambling to paper over the hole they dug themselves into. Social media erupts in real time. The document gets screenshotted, shared, stitched into reaction videos with dramatic zooms on the key phrases. Fans who were on the fence are jumping ship. One viral post reads, "They just admitted the marriage was fake in legal writing. Y'all still defending this clown show?" Another fan tweets, "Yandy said she don't owe us the certificate, but her own lawyer just served it up on a platter, popcorn emoji times 10, but the real gut punch comes when an anonymous source close to the production team leaks what happened behind the scenes right after that document dropped. Yandy allegedly called an emergency Zoom with her PR crisis team, network execs, and Mendeecees. The call lasted 3 hours. Sources say she was screaming, "We built everything on this narrative. If it falls, what's left?" Mendeecees reportedly stayed quiet most of the time, then finally said, "Maybe it's time we just tell the truth, own it, apologize, move on." Yandy shut that down quick. No bombshell guest via video call. It's a former assistant who worked for Yandy's management company from 2016 to 2021. Face blurred, voice modulated, but the stories are crystal clear. The assistant says, "I handled a lot of her personal paperwork, taxes, filings, all of it. Never once saw a marriage certificate, never filed joint anything. Everything was kept separate, her LLC, her properties, his payroll stipulations, everything compartmentalized, so if they ever split, she walked away clean. He got whatever scraps she decided to give." I asked her once, "Why no marriage license?" She looked at me dead serious and said, "Because I'm not giving up control for anybody. Not even him." The assistant keeps going, "And the kids, they'd ask questions to little Omer. One time drew a picture of a wedding and asked why mommy and daddy's wasn't like that. Yandy took the picture, hung it up, but never answered him. I saw her cry in her office after that, but the next day she was back on camera talking about unbreakable bonds. It was like two different people, the boss babe for the public, the conflicted woman behind closed doors." Tasha ties it all together. So let's recap the video where she called paperwork for suckers, the texts begging for protection, the lawyer letter confirming zero legal ties, the assistant exposing the control game, the family pain, the cast whispers, the network complicity. It's not one slip-up, it's a decade-long operation, and the operation is over because once the public sees the full picture, the brand can't recover the same way merch sales, speaking gigs, management deals, all of it tied to the Mrs. Harris persona, and that persona just got legally debunked. Fans are reacting in waves. Some are heartbroken, posting long paragraphs about how they looked up to Yandy as proof that love wins. Others are angry, feeling used, like they were extras in a scripted fairy tale. One comment sums it up: "I spent years defending her against haters, saying she's real, she's authentic, she's goals, only to find out the biggest hater was the mirror she looked in every day." Mendeecees finally breaks silence, sort of. He posts a single Instagram story, black background, white text, "God knows my heart, that's all that matters." No tag, no explanation, no apology, just that. Then he goes dark again. Yandy doubles down, posts a family photo, caption, "Still us, still solid, still blessed." No mention of the leaks, no mention of the lawyer, nothing but the same polished perfection that got them here. But the cracks are showing. Omer, who's old enough now to read the internet, reportedly asked his dad what's going on with all this. Mama Judy is said to be staying with relatives, refusing to film until things get straight. The other cast members are distancing themselves, posting general positivity quotes, avoiding the topic like it's radioactive. Tasha leans back, exhales like she just ran a marathon. We've gone from alleged relationship to confirmed non-marriage in less than 48 hours. We've seen tears, receipts, leaks, confessions, and deflections, and still the biggest question hangs in the air. What happens next? Does Yandy finally file the papers to save face? Does Mendeecees walk away with the kids in tow? Does the network pull them from the show or spin a redemption arc? Does the family heal or fracture forever? She looks straight into the camera one last time. This isn't just tea anymore, this is legacy, truth, and whether they like it or not, the fans, the family, the culture, we all get to decide what comes next, because empires built on lies don't fall quietly, they fall loud, and they fall hard. The screen starts to dim, as Tasha says, "Thank you for riding with me through every twist, every turn, every heartbreak. This story ain't over, but the mask is off, and the truth is finally free." Now let's see how they handle the aftermath, because the next chapter, whatever it is gonna be, must. Television. Okay, so now the dust is settling just a little, but the smoke is still thick. Tasha wipes her brow like she's been in a boxing ring for rounds, and says, y'all, we've laid it all out, the confessions, the leaks, the lawyer letter, the family fractures. But what happens when the cameras stop rolling, when the likes slow down, when the blogs move on to the next scandal? That's when the real damage shows up, in the quiet moments in the Harris household where the truth can't be edited out. Cut to a fresh batch of insider whispers, this time from a source who claims to be in Yandy's inner circle right now, not a former assistant, not an ex, but somebody still getting paid, still showing up to meetings, still seeing the fallout in real time. The source says after that lawyer document hit, Yandy didn't cry, didn't scream, she went cold, calculated. She locked herself in her office for 12 straight hours. Laptop, open, phone on do not disturb. Mendeecees tried to talk to her through the door. She told him, not now, we handle this my way. He walked away, head down, like a man who's been carrying this weight too long. The source keeps going. The kids feel it. Omer's been glued to his phone, reading comments, asking his dad questions. Mendeecees tells him it's grown-up stuff, we'll figure it out. But Omer's not buying it. He's old enough to Google his own last name now and see the headlines calling his family a fraud. Little mama's boy is quieter than usual, just hugs his mom extra tight, but even he's side-eyeing the ring on her finger like it's a prop from a movie set. Tasha jumps in. That's the heartbreaking part. The collateral damage isn't just to the brand, it's to the children who grew up thinking their parents' love story was the blueprint. Now they're learning it was a blueprint for something else entirely. Survival strategy, branding, genius, whatever you call it. It wasn't honest, and kids don't forgive dishonesty the same way adults do. They internalize it, they question everything. Now let's talk about the money, because that's where the real war is brewing. The lawyer letter didn't just confirm no marriage, it opened the door to questions about every deal signed under the Mrs. Harris umbrella. Sponsors who paid premium for the perfect couple image, reality show residuals tied to family merch lines marketed as family legacy, all of it potentially exposed to breach of contract claims or false advertising suits if brands decide to push back. One source close to a major beauty sponsor whispered they're reviewing options because authenticity was the selling point, and this ain't it. Yandy knows this. She's already in damage control overdrive, scheduling calls with entertainment attorneys, brand managers, PR firms, the works. The plan, allegedly floating around, is to rebrand hard, pivot from Mrs. Harris to empowered single mom boss who chose love without the paperwork, emphasize spiritual union over legal one, turn the narrative into I didn't need a government stamp to build an empire. I did it my way for my kids, for my legacy. The fans who stay will eat it up, the ones who leave were never ride or die anyway. But Mendeecees isn't on board with the pivot word as he's talking to his own lawyer, separate from hers, looking into his rights, his contributions, his stake in the businesses he helped build while he was locked up. She ran things, kept the lights on, but he says he put in work to emotional labor, creative input, name recognition from the show. His comeback story was part of the package. Now he wants his cut protected legally. Since there's no marital shield, he's pushing for formal agreements, trusts, equity stakes, something concrete before it all slips away. Mama Judy's health reportedly took a hit from the stress she's been in and out of doctors' offices, blood pressure through the roof. Friends say she blames herself for not forcing the issue sooner, for letting love blind her to the red flags. She keeps texting Mendeecees the same message, boy, fix this for your babies before it's too late. He reads them but doesn't reply, because replying means choosing a side, and right now he's torn between the woman who held him down and the mother who raised him to do right. Cast members are scattering like roaches when the light comes on. Kimbella, unfollowed. Yandy, quietly, no announcement, just gone. Erica Mena posted a cryptic IG story Bible verse about truth setting you free, then deleted it within minutes. Rashida, who spoke up early, is staying neutral, posting nothing but music promotions and family pics. Like she's washing her hands of the whole mess. The newer girls are watching from afar, learning the lesson: never get too close to the throne, because when it shakes, everybody feels the tremor. Tasha pulls up one last set of receipts, old emails from Yandy's team to network producers, discussing season storylines. One email reads, for the Harris family arc, we lean heavy into the unbreakable bond angle, no need to address legal status, it's implied and powerful. Another from a producer replies, perfect, keeps the emotional stakes high without opening legal can of worms, genius. The chain goes back years, showing this wasn't a one-off, it was baked into the DNA of their TV persona from the start. Fans are exhausted, but still hooked. Some are organizing boycotts, unfollowing, deleting old posts, others are starting GoFundMe-style support pages for the kids, saying they didn't ask for this drama. One viral thread compiles every romantic clip, every proposal, every vow renewal labels it the longest-running con in reality TV history with a crying emoji at the end. Tasha leans forward one final time, voice softer now, almost reflective. This whole saga started with a wink in a party video and ended with a lawyer's letter. Admitting the truth, nobody wanted to face love, and hip-hop sold us a dream and we bought it, tickets, merch, hope, all of it, but dreams don't hold up in court, and they damn sure don't hold up when the kids start asking why. She pauses, lets the silence sit heavy, then says the question everybody's asking now is, can they rebuild from this? Can Yandy spin it into a comeback story of resilience? We'll be watching, because in this game the drama never really ends, it just changes costumes. She smiles that knowing Tasha's smile and says thank y'all for sticking through every part. Every twist, every teardrop. This has been the full exposure, and if more comes out, if they respond, if the kids speak, if the network pulls the plug, you already know where to find me. Hit that notification bell, because the next chapter, whatever it looks like, is gonna need popcorn and prayers. The screen fades slow as her voice echoes one last time, truth hurts, but lies kill empires. Welcome to the aftermath, y'all. Stay blessed and stay woke. Okay, so the aftermath is hitting different now. Tasha's voice comes back softer but still charged, like she's talking directly to each viewer in their living room. Y'all, we've dissected every leak, every text, every tear, but let's zoom out for a second, because this isn't just about one couple anymore. This is about what happens when the biggest reality franchise sells love as a product, and the product turns out to be defective. The fans aren't just mad, they're mourning, they're grieving the version of family they thought was possible, the version they projected onto their own lives. Social media is still a battlefield, but the tone has shifted from rage to reflection. Long threads pop up where people share personal stories. I believed in Yandy and Mendeecees because my parents never got married either, but they stayed together. I thought if they could make it work, so could we now. I feel stupid. Another fan writes, I was in an on-again, off-again situationship for years, kept saying if Yandy could ride for Mendeecees through prison, I could ride through his BS. Seeing this unfold made me finally walk away. Thank you for the wake-up call. Messy as it is, Tasha nods like she's reading those comments in real time. Exactly. This exposure didn't just break the Harrismith illusion. It broke mirrors for a lot of people. Fans are tagging old posts with captions like deleting this because it was built on a lie, unfollowing because I can't support performative love anymore. Even the hashtag relationship goals is getting dragged. People posting side-by-sides of celebrity couples who actually filed paperwork versus the ones who didn't, and guess who keeps coming up at the top of the didn't list inside the camp? Things are fracturing further. Word from a production insider is that the next season of Love and Hip Hop Atlanta is in serious jeopardy, not because of ratings but because of liability. The network's legal team is reviewing old contracts, every episode where Yandy referred to Mendeecees as her husband, every confessional where she talked about marital struggles, every sponsored post tagged Mrs. Harris. If any of it can be argued as misrepresentation, brands could pull out, castmates could sue for emotional distress or lost opportunities. The whole ecosystem is holding its breath. Yandy's team is pushing the spiritual pivot hard. She drops a podcast episode, surprise drop, no promo, just boom, titled Love Beyond Labels. In it, she gets vulnerable, or at least sounds vulnerable, talks about how society puts too much pressure on paper, how God's covenant is stronger than man's stamp, how her journey taught her that real commitment doesn't need validation from a courthouse. She cries at one point, says, my babies deserve peace, not headlines. I'm human. I made choices for my family, not for the gram. The episode racks up millions of streams and hours. Fans who want to believe are flooding the comments with healing energy. We got you, queen. Others are calling it damage control 2.0. Crocodile tears for the algorithm. Mendeecees responds indirectly. He posts a video on his story. Just him sitting on the porch at sunrise. No music, no filter. He says, I've been quiet because I needed to talk to God first, talk to my kids first, talk to my mama. I'm not perfect, never claimed to be, but I love my family with everything I got. Whatever comes next, I'm walking in truth from here on out. No more games, no more hiding. He ends it with a simple I'm sorry to anybody I let down, then goes silent again. The clip gets reposted everywhere. Some see it as growth, others see it as too little too late. The kids are the wild card. Omer, who's basically a teen now, starts posting cryptic lyrics on his own page, stuff about loyalty, confusion, family ties. One line in particular goes viral when the name changes but the pain stays. The same fans are dissecting it like it's a Beyoncé album, wondering if he's shading the whole situation or just processing. Mama Judy finally breaks her silence again, this time on a small Facebook. Liv, she looks tired but resolute. My grandbabies are hurting and that's all I care about. I love Yandy. She gave my son a home when he came home, but love don't mean lying, especially to children. I pray they find healing. I pray they choose truth over everything else. She ends the Liv crying softly, then logs off. Tasha brings in one more angle, the cultural ripple, because love and hip-hop isn't just entertainment. It's black love on display for the world, messy, complicated, beautiful, flawed, but always real, or so we thought. Now people are questioning the whole franchise. Is any of it authentic, or is it all produced fantasy? Bambi and Scrappy get dragged into the conversation. Old fans resurface saying, wait, if Yandy and Mendeecees were fake, what about them? Kirk and Rashida, Joseline and Stevie, the list goes on. The show's reputation takes a hit. Comments sections fill with "we need a tell-all season," no scripts, no producers, just raw truth. Sponsors are quietly pulling back. At least one children's brand, Yandy, was partnered with issues. A vague statement, reevaluating collaborations. In light of recent developments, others are rumored to be doing the same. Her management company is rebranding, dropping the Harris from certain assets, shifting focus to solo Yandy empowerment content. The merch site has half the inventory marked down like their clearinghouse before the storm hits harder. Tasha wraps it up slow and steady. So where does this leave us? A marriage that was never legal, a family trying to pick up pieces, a fanbase split between forgiveness and farewell, a show wondering if it can survive the truth bomb it helped create, and to people who built an empire together, now facing the possibility of dismantling it apart. She pauses, takes a breath. This story started with Tasha K saying it was just an alleged relationship, and it ends with everyone agreeing it was exactly that, alleged, no more no less. But the love, the pain, the lessons, those were real. Even if the paperwork wasn't. Maybe that's the bittersweet part. In the middle of all the mess there was something genuine, fighting to survive, just not the way they sold it to us. She looks right at the camera one last time. Y'all made it through the whole series, the hook, the bombshells, the tears, the fallout. Thank you for trusting me with this. Thank you for caring enough to stay till the end. Whatever happens next with Yandy, Mendeecees, the kids, the show, the fans will be here watching, breaking it down, keeping it real, because at the end of the day, truth may hurt, but it's the only thing that sets anybody free. If you're still here, drop a heart in the comments. If you're hurt, drop a broken one. If you're healed, drop a praying hands. If you think they can come back from this, tell me how. If you think it's over, say that too. I read every single one, and I'll see y'all in the next drama, because in this world, the tea I never stops brewing. Stay locked, stay blessed, and remember, love don't need a license, but trust damn sure does. Peace. So here we are, at the end of this wild ride, and the air feels heavy with everything we've uncovered. Tasha's voice softens one final time, like she's sitting across from you, wrapping up a heart-to-heart that's left you both a little raw. This wasn't just a story about Yandy and Mendeecees, was it? It was about trust, trust in love, trust in family, trust in the dreams we pin on people we'll never meet. We watched a decade-long illusion crack wide open. From that winking video to the lawyer's letter that sealed the deal. No marriage, no legal tie, just an alleged relationship dressed up in diamonds and drama. We heard Mama Judy's tears, Omer's quiet confusion, Mendeecees' late apology, and Yandy's pivot to spiritual spin. We saw fans split, some holding tight to their queen, others burning their merch in the group chat. And through it all, we learned something. Reality TV sells stories, but only we decide which ones we keep believing. The questions linger like smoke. Will Yandy and Mendeecees finally file that paperwork, turn the spiritual into the official, or will they double down on the no-labels narrative? Can Mendeecees rebuild his voice, step out of Yandy's shadow, or is he too deep in the empire to walk away? What about the kids, Omer, little Mendeecees, the babies who didn't sign up for the headlines but live with the fallout? Will the love and hip-hop franchise survive this hit, or is the whole house of cards folding under the weight of too many exposed lies? Nobody knows, not yet. But the next move, whether it's a redemption arc, a messy split, or a quiet retreat, is gonna light up the internet like nothing we've seen. This is where you come in. You've been with me through every twist, every receipt, every gut punch moment. Now it's your turn to talk. Drop a comment below. Hit me with your thoughts. Do you think Yandy can spin this into a comeback, or is the Mrs. Harris brand done for good? Is Mendeecees a victim, a co-conspirator, or just a man caught in a storm? What about the kids? How do they heal from this?